Nigeria's political landscape recently erupted in controversy when Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan leveled explosive allegations of sexual harassment against the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio. The accusation sent shockwaves through the nation, igniting fierce debates that splits public opinion. While some demanded accountability and a thorough investigation, others dismissed the claims as being politically motivated lies, urging Senator Natasha to provide proof or face consequences. The fallout has been chaotic. Senator Natasha was swiftly suspended for 6 months for disrupting Senate proceedings and was stripped of her benefits and faced attempts by rivals to have her constituents recall her from office entirely. Yet, amid the suspension, the smear campaigns that we've all seen in the media, and procedural theatrics, the core issue, the sexual harassment allegation, remains buried under a mountain of political maneuvering. Critics argue that the Senate has prioritized silencing a vocal critic over addressing the gravity of her claims. It looks to me that the system seems more interested in punishing the accuser than uncovering the truth, whatever the truth could be. I believe she should be given an opportunity to provide whatever evidence, if any, that she has, instead of the allegations being treated like an inconvenient footnote. I, however, want to veer off the allegations and counter-allegations taking place in the Nigerian political landscape to take the conversation in a different direction. The issue of sexual harassment, assault, or abuse is a matter that should concern us all because it affects us all in one way or the other. Sexual harassment, sexual abuse, sexual assault are distinct terms with overlapping elements, but they differ primarily in context, in behavior, and in legal implications. Let's look at this structured breakdown. What constitutes sexual harassment? This typically occurs in professional or educational or even public settings, example, workplaces or schools. It involves unwelcome verbal or non-verbal or physical conduct that creates a hostile environment. It could include inappropriate comments, jokes, gestures, staring or sharing explicit materials. For instance, brushing against someone may qualify if they create intimidation. Sexual harassment is often repetitive, but can also be a single incident. It focuses on the impact it creates, the hostile environment, for instance, rather than physical contact. It is usually addressed through civil law or organizational policies that could lead to disciplinary actions or lawsuits. Let's look at sexual abuse. Sexual abuse often involves a power imbalance or trust relationship. Example, one that is familial, a caregiving situation, or institutional, is a pattern of manipulative, coercive, or exploitative acts over time. It includes non-contact, like grooming, emotional manipulation, and contact acts as well, like molestation, forced sexual acts. It is common in cases involving minors or vulnerable individuals. Sexual abuse is chronic and systematic, aiming to control or downgrade the victim. Criminal charges could be brought against perpetrators, especially in cases that involve minors. What is sexual assault? This involves any setting where non-consensual physical contact occurs. It has to do with physical acts without consent. Note, without consent. It ranges from unwanted touching, that's groping, to penetration, which involves rape. The key is lack of consent, regardless of relationship. It can be a single incident or part of a broader pattern. Example, in abuse cases, it is a criminal offense with varying degrees of severity, and it focuses on bodily violation. Let's look at the key differences in all of these terms that I have defined. Physical contact assault always involves non-consensual physical acts. Harassment may not, while abuse can include both. Abuse is often prolonged. Harassment and assault can be single incidents. There's power dynamics involved as well. Abuse and harassment often exploit power imbalances, while assault focuses on the act itself. When power imbalance is involved, sexual harassment becomes a weapon, not a mistake. But here's the truth. You are not powerless. Here are some close examples of harassment. You have lewd remarks, catcalling, explicit emails, and abuse, where a teacher grooms a student or a caregiver exploits an older person. Assault, for instance, groping at a party, or rape. Sexual abuse in any form is a human crisis, and it is not really about it being a scandal. Hey everyone, if you've been following my drift, let's pause for a moment. Right now, in workplaces, in schools, and even in homes, people are navigating unspeakable violations of their bodies, their trust, and dignity. It could be your colleague, it could be your friend, it could be your sibling, or even you. This isn't about cases or controversies. It's about people. Survivors are not headlines. They are humans. And whether you are a man, you're a woman, or child, this issue doesn't care about your age, it doesn't care about your status, it doesn't care about your zip code. Silence helps no one, but action saves everyone. So how do we break the cycle? How do we protect ourselves, support survivors, and hold perpetrators accountable without waiting for a viral scandal? Today we are cutting through the noise to talk real solutions. How do we document harassment safely? What do we say and not say to a survivor? Why should men be part of the conversation? How do systems fail us? And how can we fix them? This isn't about blame, it's about change. So whether you've survived abuse, witnessed it, or just want to learn, stay with me. Today and together, we are turning pain into power. Sexual harassment and abuse do not discriminate. They could happen anywhere, whether in workplaces, in schools, in homes. It could happen to men, it could happen to women, it could happen to children. But this is the truth. Silence protects perpetrators, not survivors. So how do we fight back? How do we protect ourselves and support others? Today, I'll be tackling one of the toughest but most important conversations: how to navigate sexual harassment or abuse. Whether you are experiencing it, whether you have witnessed it, or you want to be prepared so that you know how to handle it. This isn't just about calling out predators. It's about equipping ourselves with tools to heal, to set boundaries, and create safer spaces for everyone. No victim blaming, no stereotypes, just real strategies. I will break down practical steps from documenting incidents and leveraging legal support to rebuilding trust after trauma. And yes, we'll talk about how men can be allies, how women can combat internalized shame, and why systems often fail survivors. Whether you are here for yourself or someone you care about, please stay with me. I'll repeat. Together, we are turning pain into power. Let me share an incident of harassment that happened to me. My family knows this story, but it will be news to a lot of people out there. I want to share it. Years ago, during a transitional phase of my life, I lived with an older relative of my father's, a man I will call uncle. Fresh out of my service year and I was job hunting, I had no reason to distrust him. He was a grandfatherly figure. His daughters, some of them were close to my age, some were older, and his family ties to mine was quite close. But one afternoon, everything changed. It began innocently enough. Uncle suggested that we deliver an item to a family friend, framing it as a casual errand. And to reinforce this illusion of normalcy, he detoured through his wife's workplace. When she saw two of us in the car, she laughed and teased. And she said, "Look at uncle and niece having a day out." I chuckled too, oblivious to the unease that would soon follow and whatever it was that was brewing in his mind. After dropping off the item, he proposed stopping at a restaurant on the way home. This still did not alarm me, because when I had first arrived in the city some months back, he had taken me to a similar spot after picking me up from the bus station. Back then, he had proudly introduced me to his acquaintances as his cousin's daughter. So why wouldn't I assume that his intentions now were harmless? So after we ate in the bustling dining area, as we finished, his demeanor shifted. "Come with me to a private room," he said suddenly. "There's something I need to discuss." My stomach dropped, the alarm bells went off. I was in my 20s, but I was book smart and socially cautious, devouring novels and advice columns that warned of red flags. This was one, a man in his 60s, decades my senior, asking to isolate me. No, I said firmly, whatever you have to say, please say it here. He pressed again. His voice was laced with false innocence. When I refused a second time, he resorted to manipulation. I haven't said anything, have I? If you tell the family, I will deny it. It will only cause trouble. The threat was clear. Stay silent. But defiance surged in me. Take me home, I demanded, my voice steady. To my surprise, he complied. But in the car, he tried once more. Just come to the room. It's nothing. My resolve hardened. No, please take me home now. As we drove, he slipped me a phone number, a privilege he claimed from his job at a multinational company. Call if you ever need anything. I took the paper, numb, already planning to tear it to shreds. Back at the house, he never approached me again. I left weeks later, carrying the secret until I confided in my father and an auntie of mine. I spared my mom, knowing her fury would erupt like a storm. Years later, after uncle's death, I finally told her. She was furious, wishing she had known sooner. But by that time, I had long made my peace with my choices at the time. Years before that, when I was in the senior secondary class, my math teacher smirked at me as we went for compound walk. He took one look at my body, my teenage body, and said, "You're so slim. Maybe because you don't have a boyfriend," he sneered. The girls giggled nervously, but my cheeks burned. I ignored him because if I had reacted, I would probably be punished for insulting a teacher. I survived this moment because I was stubborn, because I devoured books that taught me that my body wasn't a bargaining chip, because I just had enough privilege to be able to walk away. But this is the truth. Every young Nigerian woman, every young African woman has a similar story. Maybe it's the uncle who playfully slaps your backside at family gatherings, that lecturer who hints at your A grade depending on extra tutorials, that mechanic who licks his lips and says, "Fine girl, I'll fix your car cheap if you will fix me." Harassment isn't an exception, it is the rule. And not everybody fights back. So why do some people stay silent? Why don't they speak out?